Hello everyone, welcome to the lesson today, konnichiwa. We'll be continuing on with our basic grammar series. Today we're going to be looking at adjectives in Japanese. Now if you check out the YouTube description box, I've got a link to a Google Doc and it's what you can see on screen now. I'd really recommend you open that up to follow along with the lesson. So we've got a date up here. Today it's 8日10月2018年. I also have a link here to my Gumtree ad. I'd recommend you check that out for my police clearance and just details on tutoring. If you live in WA, I do face-to-face tutoring. Otherwise, if you live anywhere else in the world, I can do online tutoring through Google Hangouts or Skype. Please contact me on this email for more details. Adjectives. So adjectives, if we think back to our English lessons back in primary school, adjectives are our describing words. So it means instead of saying it's just a meal, we say it's a delicious meal. Instead of saying it's a person, it's a happy person. So we're going to be looking at these types of words next. There's not much involved with adjectives in Japanese, except before we get started, we have to kind of have this construct in our head to understand adjectives better. Now, when we have this construct, this kind of fake reality in our head, Japanese people don't really think about adjectives like this. But because it's their native language, they don't really need to. So this is just a little thing we have to be aware of before we get into adjectives. Adjectives in Japanese work very similar to how they work in English. You have the adjective first, and then you have the noun that comes next, which the adjective is describing. First, we have to learn this construct, which is that there are two different types of adjectives in Japanese. Now, the name we're going to give these is i-adjectives and na-adjectives. And as we can see in our sheet here, the i is coming from our hiragana chart. It's the one right at the top. And then we have na as well coming from our hiragana chart. Now we'll see why they're called these in a second, but let's just see the rule about how we determine whether something is an i adjective or a na adjective. So we're actually going to start looking at na adjectives first, but before we get there, let's read through a bit of a word list. So here we have shizuka. This means quiet. Hito. This means person. Kirei is pretty or clean, depending on the context. Tomodachi for friend. Shinsetsu, a na adjective, this means kind. Sakana, this means fish. Suki means likable or desirable, also a na adjective. Niku for meat. Yasai for vegetables. And oishii for delicious. Tabemono for food. Takai for tall or expensive. And biru for building. So once we've determined it's a na adjective, all we have to do is put the na adjective first, then we put na, and then we put the noun. This is why they're called na adjectives, because we need to insert a na between the two words. So we have, for example, this is shizuka. Okay, this means quiet, and this is a na adjective. So we have to put na there, and then we have hito, which is person. So shizuka na hito, a quiet person. And also we have kirei. This is also a na adjective. And so we put na to say kirei na hito. Now, i-adjectives, there is a rule to work out what they are. And the rule is that all i-adjectives end in i, hence the name. Now, this doesn't mean that every word that ends in i is an i-adjective, okay? The rule is all i-adjectives end in i. Now, there are two exceptions to this. One we just saw, which is kirei, and another one, which is here, kirai. All right, these are our two exceptions. Otherwise, if we get an adjective which ends in e, you can be pretty sure it's an e adjective. Now, how do we deal with e adjectives? Well, it's even simpler than na adjectives. We get the e adjective and put it straight onto the noun. So here we have oishii tabemono. Oishii tabemono, so delicious food. And we have takai biru, so a tall building. Okay, that's it from me. As homework, I would recommend that you try and make 5 or so sentences using the words we've already done in the previous videos and the word list I had in this video to create some more e-adjectives and na-adjective little sentences. Leave them in the comments below and I'll check them for you. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time.